The people of the motherland have come. Unfortunately, I am Superman of Doom Chapter 22. What's wrong, Mr. Quentin Baker? What the hell is going on? Peter Parker doesn't understand why Mysterio suddenly changed completely, and the previous personality has completely changed. The duck flew away. Mysterio Quentin Baker was already mad and couldn't hold back any longer. Stop pretending. You already know that Stark Industries' artificial intelligence is playing with me, right? Spider-Man, I want you to die. Mysterio's mature and square face became distorted and hideous due to the angry gaffe. The other side, New York, Lakeside Cottages. Saturday. Harpy Hogan's round face turned white, and he suddenly showed a difficult smile. It turns out that Morgan's artificial intelligence is called Saturday. Harpy, what's wrong with that? Pepper Potts also sensed something was wrong from Harpy Hogan's look. Harpy Hogan glanced at Pepper and Morgan, and said with a wry smile, last week, my brain was confused for a while, and I may have made a small mistake. Minor mistake? Pepper Potts was about to continue asking. But at this time, outside the wooden house, there was a strange noise, and the sound came from inside the closed garage next to the wooden house. Listen to me. Harpy Hogan's forehead was full of cold sweat, and he spat out in an accelerated tone. Last week, I handed over my Stark Industrial Authority to Saturday. Quote. What did you say? Pepper Potts was stunned. Empty garage studio. The daylight lights suddenly lit up in rows, from the perimeter of the garage where several luxury cars were parked to the private studio of Tony Stark, who once served as Iron Man Tony Stark. Deep in the garage, two glass booths more than 2 meters high are like the dust of cutting-edge scientific and technological works sealed here, and inside are 2 nano-combat suits, one large and one small. One male and one female, one gold-red and one silver-blue. The nano-metal suit flows slightly under the light with a perfect assembly line design and manufacturing arc, and a variety of scattered and fine components are seamlessly connected from head to toe. And the craftsmanship is definitely not comparable to the so-called top luxury cars of major manufacturers outside the garage. Since the death of Iron Man Tony Stark, for more than half a year, these energy and technology have been improved from generation to generation. And the steel suits that have fought against various villains have only been displayed here as relics. Until today. A piercing white light suddenly glowed in the metal eye sockets of the golden red nano battlesuit, and the Earth's ultimate technological weapon that had been sealed for a long time suddenly moved. Boom! The glass-textured suit stand burst open from the inside out. A steel suit walked out as if it was under human control, a little wobbly at first, but after only 5 seconds, it smoothly began to move its body parts. I still have the feeling of human body, which is more used to it. A wisp of virtual electrostatic consciousness emerged from inside the steel suit, which is naturally the artificial intelligence incarnation of Meng. Easily manipulating this nano-metal suit, Meng looked at himself through the perspective of the garage camera he controlled. The metal mask is hot gold, and the body surface is mostly red coating. On the chest is a new elemental energy core in the shape of a hexagon, which is used as the center of energy to supply the whole body. And the body takes on the process arc of human form and muscle shape. As soon as Meng settled in, he knew that this armor was the last masterpiece of Iron Man Tony Stark, and the last suit of the same model to face Thanos in Endgame. Built-in technologies, including nano-repair, nano-deformation, tactical laser, laser turret, engine burst, stable suspension, cooling injection, tracking and navigation, target locking. Signal enhancement, virtual projection, oxygen replenishment, shock and fire prevention, underwater operation and so on. If you go out like this, I'm afraid you will be mistaken for Iron Man and have returned to life, right? Meng looked at the nano-metal suit that was partially thought of, and couldn't help but have such an idea. Actually, Meng doesn't care what other people think. What he cares about is that there is barely one person in this Marvel dream world, and he really doesn't want to destroy the girl's great image of her dead father in her mind. Dreamed of this, the artificial intelligence idea moved, and an auxiliary robot next to it immediately moved. This auxiliary robot comes with a painting function. 10 seconds later. When Pepper Potts and Harpy Hogan hurried to the garage door, with a roar, the garage dome suddenly broke, and a dark black nanometal armor soared into the sky. 0026 broke with the Stark family. The hands, palms, and back engines were all activated, and the dark nanometal armor seemed to turn into a black lightning, and it disappeared into the night sky above the forest in an instant. Friday, stop it, Pepper Potts shouted. The second-generation artificial intelligence quickly replied on Friday. Miss Potts, Saturday now has no lower authority than me, and cannot be stopped remotely. Pepper Potts said without hesitation, then stop it at close range. In any case, it must be left behind. Can't let it get out of control. Yes, Miss Potts. Artificial intelligence took orders Friday. About 3 seconds. A blue-silver painted female nano-warframe flew out from the garage inside, and its chest and engine lit up with a piercing white light. Chasing in the direction where the dark nanometal armor left before. Downtown New York City. It's late at night, but the city is even more bustling than during the day, neon, and the streets of the noisy and fashionable city are full of traffic. Yikes. Then, a humanoid black lightning bolt and a blue lightning bolt dragged the piercing white tail flame respectively, sweeping hundreds of meters above the city one after the other. The suburbs go to the city on the main road. Harpy Hogan expertly drives the vehicle's full-powered Mercedes, while Pepper Potts and Morgan Jr. sit next to each other in the back of the vehicle. Harpy looked at the movement track reflected back Friday on the car screen, and couldn't help but say, "That's the direction of the New York City area, what does it want to do there?" Quote. When Pepper Potts heard this, he seemed to remember something, with surprise in his eyes. Stark Industrial Headquarters. She said with more and more certainty, "Yes, its target must be Stark Industries headquarters." Quote. Since the Ultron incident, Tony has implanted termination logic programs in the artificial intelligence he created. The underground terminal at Stark Industries headquarters stores the termination logic program that created it, and only I have access to and use the terminal system. And I can't modify the program through network intrusion alone. Unless. Pepper Potts's words came to an abrupt end. Unless, physically, the terminal is directly destroyed. Harpy Hogan smiled wryly, knowing that this time it was really tricky. It's not like it used to be. Even Tony is gone. If the second generation of Ultron really appears, who can stop it? Pepper Potts hugged Morgan tightly and continued to remotely instruct. Friday, stop it at all costs. Yes, Miss Potts. The artificial intelligence that controls the women's nano armor replies Friday in a pleasant and cold female voice. The heart of New York's metropolis. A commercial building with a striking letter logo and an oversized open-air rooftop is located here. It is one of the iconic landmarks of the city of New York, witnessing the rise and fall of the Avengers, suffering the war baptism of the Battle of New York and the Ultron era, and undergoing several renovations in 15 years. Right now, the Stark Industrial Headquarters building was on break, and the office staff was not there, so that only the ground floor of the building was lit. But there are still many admiring tourists and citizens who remember Iron Man who come here to take photos. The sky suddenly brightened. More than a dozen scorching laser energy beams cut through the night. A dark armor figure against the faint metallic luster fell diagonally, passing between the web of light transformed by the white and scorching laser beams, and finally landed on the open-air roof of the Stark Industrial Headquarters building. Trample. The moment the dark nano armor that Meng was stationed in and harnessed landed, he continued to slide back for a while squatting half-squatted, and the dark metal right arm was raised. And the nanometal immediately extended and transformed into a solid shield. The nanoshield blocked several strikes of laser energy. You're going to shoot, aren't you? Meng took advantage of the gap between the opponent's offensive and put the nanoshield back, the metal palm lifted up, and the engine muzzle immediately burst into a strong light. The new elemental energy slot on the chest of the warframe suddenly brightened, directing the surging new elemental energy to the hand engine. Night in New York was cut off again, only this time from the bottom up, towards the moon. Whoosh! One of the lasers hit the blue and silver armor that was chasing over, causing the opponent to fly out, and quickly stabilized in the air, continuing to accelerate and fly over without hesitation. Meanwhile, Meng can also detect that another artificial intelligence is trying to hack into its own program through the network signal sanitize. Since there is no emotion, only obey orders. First,